go. It's getting
Do you notice both our heads start bobbing at the same time during the music?
Oh, we're like,
When the
what's that?
extra beat kicks in, I noticed
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
both of us
It's like,
start
what's that
going.
movie? Is it Night at the Roxbury? With yeah, with their, yeah, there we go. Epic movie. Haven't seen that movie in like years. Maybe I'll put that on
Oh,
doc for the weekend. But
that movie was so funny when it came out.
so funny.
Have you ever done that where you haven't watched like a movie when you were a kid? You're like, oh my God, that was so funny. And then you watch it again and you're like, how did I even laugh at that? And
Oh, it happens all the time, brother.
yeah,
All the time. You know what's funny? We were talking about that yesterday on the golf course, talking about like anytime on the golf course, I don't know. I don't know if it's without fail, somebody will always bring up like Happy Gilmore. They'll for some
yeah,
reason they'll always bring up that, right, in conversation. So they were talking about like Billy Madison, and I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen Billy Madison since I was a kid. But then it's like if I saw it now, would I consider it like stupid funny? Like kind of like
yeah.
that's why I don't like Will Ferrell. I think his humor is not my cup of tea. But it's just, what was the last movie that you saw? You're like, how did I enjoy this?
Yes. Actually, you know what? Kind of reversed. So,
Ooh.
um, I say a couple of weeks, and it was probably like 2 months, 3 months ago. Um, just was like nothing to watch on Netflix, and I came across Eddie Murphy Raw, and I
Ooh,
was like, I'm just gonna watch it. And I'm like, I'm wondering if it's as funny as it was when I was a kid, because it's that shock and awe. It's like watching Ted, the movie Ted, for the first time. Like you're crying, you're laughing so hard, and then when you watch it for like the second or third time, it's like you're still laughing, but it's not as
yeah,
because it's
it's
not
not as
as
good.
like
Yeah, no
it's not as
spoilers.
raw and as
Yeah.
intense, right? But and I watched Raw, and I was still crying because, and most of it was, if he were to come out and do that today, it would be a totally different story
Oh yeah, he
than
would have
what
been
it was when he
canceled.
did.
Yeah, he would be canceled.
Oh, oh,
That's why we got to
that would
talk about. We can't say those kind of things on this show. But you know what? Let's hit our intro because it is Fun Day Friday, and we got our amazing cowboy waiting in the green room. So I know he wants to get in with us. So let's hit that intro and get into it, brother.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
I tried to
even
bob my head
Gail's
to that
grooving
one,
to
but it
the
really doesn't
music.
work. Yeah, I
No,
really tried
no.
to. Yeah, I was like, my neck hurts a little bit. But you know what? It is Fun Day Friday, so this is Sales Chatter, the logistics podcast where we aim to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. But on Fridays, we kick it back. We want you guys to learn from Monday to Thursday and come kick it with us. So with that being said, if there's not one person who likes to kick it more on Fridays, we got him here today. So the Bodacious Cowboy, Jeff Dickinson, coming all the way from New Jersey. What's going on, brother?
Hey, gents. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Always a fun day here.
Always a fun day here. It is truly a great day. For Friday, a lot of us. I know Dan and I were in Canada, but a lot of people had a stressful week if they didn't plan properly for Dot Blitz Week. So before we actually get into Fun Day Fridays, did Blitz Week affect you in any way, Jeff?
None. Nope. Zilch.
There we
All
go.
my guys got through with no issues whatsoever.
Okay, that's good.
I got told it did, and I think somebody dropped the ball and just blamed it on Blitz Week. But I got told it was an impact. Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to pick up Wednesday, then all of a sudden Thursday comes. I'm like, where's my bill? Oh, it never loaded. And then Thursday came and it was like, oh, I got caught in Blitz. And I'm like,
Yeah. I just write that down for next week. But yeah, in the comments, if you
Yeah.
did, how did your Blitz week go? Brandy, Gale, if it did affect you, I know Brandy probably has the shipments like that, and preparation, because I believe this is, for many people who are watching, Dan and Jeff, this is their first Blitz week, so it's always kind of cool to kind of go through first and everything like that. And let's actually start about that. With kind of going on with our first question for Friday Fun Day, which might not be a fun question, but do you guys remember your first Blitz week? What did that look like? When somebody told you Dot Blitz, I know for me personally, guys, I was like, what the hell is that? Is anything going to happen? What's really going on? And you come to learn what exactly happens. But yeah, we'll start with Dano. What was your first Blitz like?
I don't even remember it.
Me too.
You know what? To me, I don't think I've ever had any major issues during any DOT Blitz week. ever. And knock on wood, but like I said, even yesterday, I think somebody in ops dropped the ball. It wasn't the drivers personally. And it's I don't know. I mean, I haven't really even heard of any, like when I was in a company with hundreds of salespeople and you know, tons of like billions in freight moving. I never really heard much about Blitz Week. Never.
Okay, there we go. Cowboy. Maybe it's the difference of like being in the States and stuff like that too. But yeah, I'd
Could
love
be,
to hear.
yeah.
What do you think, Cowboy?
Yeah, I'll tell you. A long time ago, when I was working at Ford Motor Company, we were running 48 dedicated routes every single day out to our customers. We just made sure that all the PMs were done to all the tractors. We did the pre walk around, post walk around, just to make sure that, you know, if they did get pulled over, that there wasn't going to be an issue. So we never ever had, never had an issue because we're always working proactively. And then also, I hired really good carriers that we didn't have to worry about that, you know, that took care of their equipment and were always top notch. So I was lucky, though. I was lucky. I've heard some disaster stories from a lot of others for sure.
Yeah. I think we've all probably felt a little bit of a pinch for truck drivers being late, right? Just having to sit in the line at chicken coops and waiting to get inspected.
That's an acceptable exception. That is an exception.
Exactly. I think the nightmares come in when it's like your only guy that's able to pick up and he's got like 7 violations when he goes into the chicken coop, and it's like, and they're like, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, I think there's going to be delays across the board, whether it be they've already loaded your freight and now they're on their way home and now they're stuck for 6 hours, so they're running out of hours of service and they're making it up. And being Blitz Week, at this point in Blitz Week anyways, even if they get caught, you're still going to make Tuesday delivery because Monday's a holiday, right? So, I mean, how much does it?
It's a huge infraction, and they don't let the truck drive out of the inspection, and your stuff is sitting there. I mean, I'm sure that's happened, you know, and it's like.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was driving to Guelph yesterday, and we'll get into our topic, but I saw a truck pulled over, and I thought to myself, the first thought that came to my mind is like, I've never gotten somebody like pulled over the police, but I would love that phone call, or I would love that picture to be like in the rear view light, like a selfie of them with like the police behind you. It's like, what did you guys do? You know, what really happened here? It would be pretty cool to kind of see. But let's hop into our first question, which I handpicked for today, and we'll start with Cowboy first.
I love your questions, Ryan.
Yeah, we always
you come up with some pretty cool questions. One day we're gonna have to do a show on where you get these questions.
No. We don't want to show. I'll gatekeep that. I'll gatekeep
that out.
Jeff not willing to
yeah, we're not gonna. You know, then we might have like 20 other Fun Day Fridays. You know, somebody will be like Jokes Tuesdays or something like that. We'll kind of go there. But anyways, let's get into it. So, Cowboy.
Yes,
if the average life expectancy was 40 years, 40, how would you change your life in those 40 years?
No, I wouldn't be here right now.
Sorry, twice. No, just joking.
I don't know. That's a really hard question. I think I would go about doing what I've done so far. I mean, that's a tough question.
Yeah, we'll think about it. I want to get some answers. That's what we're here
I
for.
don't think I would change. Maybe travel a little bit more. Maybe not be in the logistics industry where it wouldn't allow me to do so. But yeah.
Okay, travel a little bit more.
I think it would dramatically change the way we think from day one. And the reason I say that is 20 would be midlife.
Yeah.
So I think at the age of like, you know, I know it sounds crazy, but at like 15, 16, you might be having kids and a family instead of 30. I think that from a corporate level, you know, you're gonna have 20-year-olds climbing the corporate ladder because they're midlife, right? I think it would be pretty messed up because your experience as a 20-year-old would be completely different than your experience as a 20-year-old today if you only had 40 years, right? Like you would own a house, you would, you know, most, you know, that kind of thing. I think the world would lack a ton of really solid information. Like if you've ever sat down with a 75, 80, 85, 9-year-old and interviewed them and what they've seen, like from literally almost horse and buggy to cars that almost drive themselves to no internet to World War II to, you know what I mean? Like you think of the just the amount that they've seen and change. That's where all the wisdom is. And
Yeah,
that's
and
where
the kids
all
would be
that.
graduating college at 9 years old.
Would they even go to college though? That's the question I would ask to both of you,
Yeah.
right? Would you even like go with school? You know, I think
Would
like
it literally just be you learn your name and you go into the workforce?
and kind of
Right
figure it
out of
out.
diapers.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Straight
think
out of diapers, you know, like you had to make your own diapers, you know, and kind of
literally
like
Baby Boss. It would be Baby Boss all over again. Ryan, that's a
amazing.
great question.
You know, I think it was like for me, I think, and just thinking a little bit more thought provokingly, how would I change my life and live a little bit differently? I think for me, I wouldn't want to try to go up any corporate ladders. I wouldn't take work so seriously. I wouldn't. I would work to live, not live to work. Have experiences. It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake where it's time. I don't know if everybody saw that movie In Time or something like that, where everybody has a timer on like their
Oh
wrist or
yeah,
some
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
of like how long
Yeah.
they have left to live. And I think for me, it's just like the experiences, right? To kind of enjoy a little bit more. And the lesson for me by reading this question is maybe I need to sit back and reflect. You know, am I truly living my best life right now? And I think I would encourage both you guys and our audience to maybe ask themselves for that. So that was definitely a good one there.
I'm wondering if it
Let's.
would also, if you just for 1 second,
Yep.
you know, in the movie with Justin Timberlake, everybody was fighting for more time.
That's right.
You know, I'm wondering if it would, you know, if it would change the overall worldview. It's like, listen, we're only here for a very short period of time. Let's not have war. Let's get along. Let's, you know what I mean? Because if you think of your life expectancy is 40 years, you're almost doubling the like, because we're what now 80, 85. So you're happening that population increase all the time, right? I mean that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Great
I like
question,
that one.
Ryan.
Oh, thank you. Next one, I actually like this one a lot better. So it's a would you rather one, and I'll post it up here too. We'll start with Daniel on this one. Would you rather be a worried genius or a joyful simpleton? Simpleton.
Oh.
Right there.
Okay, so ignorance here. Define simpleton.
So simple. Define simple. DE. No, just joking. It's somebody who just happy with life. Okay, let's put this in a financial kind of thing here. All your bill, you're kind of working. Let's say maybe a dead end job. You're maybe that 30 to 40K salary. All your bills are paid. You're happy. You can't just have like really nice things. But like you get by. All your bills are paid. You got a roof over your head. You can go to dinner maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. So in terms of financially, you have your family, everything like that. You're not really, because when I think of genius, somebody's like a Steve Jobs, you know, like somebody like you guys always kind of talk about, even like Arnold Schwarzenegger and things like that. So somebody who's like a genius, like Albert Einstein, like they're given to the world.
So, and the reason I asked that, Ryan, is because when you say a worried genius, I would say it depends on what I'm worrying about. Like if I'm a filthy rich genius that has a miserable family life, that has a miserable life, and all I do is work every day, all day, and my life is work. And you know, you see a lot of very wealthy people have very shit lives everywhere else except for wealth. If that was the case, I'd rather be a simpleton. But it would just be simple worries that typical business owners go through, or that, then I'd rather be a genius.
I'll say that I'll put that for both of you. So it would be something that like, yeah, you're worried about all the like everything that's kind of going on in life, but you do have like by being a genius, what comes with that is the wealth, the awards, a couple Nobel Prize, like things that are like you have. People don't get to see behind closed doors, but to a service level, everything looks great. So you say you would pick the joyful simpleton?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, if the worried genius didn't, it was like life was a mess except for what people see in the public. Then, you know, personally, I would never want to live that life. I've known way too many multi-millionaires that have the worst lives you can ever think of. Sure, they got cash, they can jet set wherever they want, but their lives suck. They have no friends because everybody wants money from them, right? Like there's levels to it. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting pretty particular on the question, but it's such a great question that I just needed verification on it.
All right, cool. Well, let's get to the cowboy. No, don't apologize. This is what it's for, man. It's not what's your favorite color Fridays, it's Fun Day Friday. So
blue.
Let's go to that.
I'm gonna take it a different path. So I would be.
You never do that, Jeff.
Oh man, I'm just being honest. But I would be a worrisome genius because in order to get to be a genius, you would have to worry about a lot of things, and then as you're creating options and solutions and implementing these things, that's just adding to your knowledge base to get you to that genius level. You never worried about it, you would never get there. So I would think that being a genius and being worried, you're adding something to the world and you're creating something that's beneficial for someone somewhere in the world. And I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that because you just don't become a genius overnight. You had to do something, and you must have worried about something and overcame those barriers and those obstacles to get to that level. So I'm going with that.
That's awesome. And we'll get to Mark's one here because it kind of comes back to what I would pick. It's a great point here. You know what's crazy, guys? I'm going to because I am the host, I got to kind of stretch things a little bit. So I'm going to pick Joyful Simpleton because the previous question says I'm only going to be alive for 40 years. So for that 40 years, I want to be a joyful simpleton. This is what we do. This is what we're doing. I like this one a lot too, boys, because it doesn't give any thoughts to going over. So it's literally, can you describe your life in a 6-word sentence? And we'll start with the cowboy on that if you want to take some time to think about it. And the audience as well. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are to describe your life in a 6-word sentence.
Trying to think.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
Oh man.
I'm trying to write mine down. Is it 6 words?
Yeah. Out of control, but worth it.
Yeah, there we go. I like that one. Out of control, but worth it. All right, Daniel, let's hear about you, buddy.
Living life all in, all time.
Sorry?
Living life all in, all time.
I
need actually 7 because all the time.
Yeah, boo.
I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay. Ryan, you should be giving us these questions the night before because you've had time to research it.
Yeah.
No. I actually, full transparency, guys, I literally pulled this up as we went live. So, yeah, I swear to God.
Ryan, so for all y'all watching, when we were all in the green room before we started, Ryan said he was filling out a form. He said he was doing a form. And yeah, I'm thinking he's getting the answers to these questions now. Living life.
I love this. I want to get to Chris. Shout out to Chris West.
Hashtag I'm all in.
I'm not all in. 6 words correct. Just 6 words separate comma. There we go.
There you
I like
go,
that one.
Chris.
Chris is awesome. By the way, Chris, VP.
Ryan is cheating. Yes.
No, not cheating at all.
Let's
cheating.
Let's
cheating.
put this
man.
one up, and we're gonna put this as we're gonna.
Yeah.
No, we're not cheating. Chris, man, I reposted your thing, man. You got to be on my side.
That's the way it is, Chris.
Chris is awesome. I love that. Becoming all I can be daily. I love that one. Shout out to you, LinkedIn user, whoever you are. I love that. For me, I'm gonna take it with my thing that I kind of believe in my life. Saving animal lives is my purpose. I'm gonna call that is my life mantra and my sentence and everything. When I do this, everything comes to me. The universe opens doors for me in my business, my personal life. So nothing has gone wrong since I got into dog rescue 3-4 years ago. So we'll go there.
You're a good man.
Chris says he was just about to give me a shout out, then he read that.
I love Westy, man. Westy is one of the best people I ever made. Here's a cool one. I love this one. This one's actually really cool, and we'll start with Daniel on this one. If we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Right.
so I believe that unfortunately goes back to our lizard brains. I've actually done quite a bit of research on this because this is a question that I've asked myself a million times. And the wiring is somehow just programmed to always be that fearful first and then talk ourselves into being unfearful. It's due to history. When we fail, sometimes it hurts and we don't want to go through that hurt. And there's like two ways, right? The pursuit of pleasure, the avoidance of pain are the two paths that we take in life. And, you know, I just see it as there's only going to be a human 101 in life. There will never be a human 1.2. And that's just the way our brains are wired, unfortunately. And for those of us, for those that are really lucky and can kind of, and you kind of hesitate for a second and then go. But unfortunately, most people, it paralyzes them.
Mhm.
Most people it does.
I like that one. Cowboy, what are your thoughts, brother?
I don't know. I've learned so many from my mistakes, and I've made many, that I'm not afraid to make a mistake. I mean, it's part of the journey. That's why we're all, and that's how we learn, and we consistently learn over and over again. If we were so afraid of making mistakes, why would we not want to learn? I mean,
But the majority of people are, Jeff. That's the thing. Like, right? Like if you say to yourself, "Well, I'm not afraid of making mistakes," or even like what Chris said, it's a part of life's journey. It is. But I can tell you right now, if everybody wasn't afraid, we'd all be CEOs.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Like that's the reality of it. We'd all have our own businesses. Like the world would be completely different. But the majority of the population are terrified of making mistakes.
But sometimes
Whether it be because they have
you have
kids,
no choice.
whatever.
Sometimes you have no choice, depending upon the situation. You've got to pull a rabbit out of your hat. You're not worried about making a mistake. You're going back on your knowledge and using some of your experience at that time, and you're going to make things happen. And
some people,
you fall on.
But some people will fall.
Oh, definitely. But
Right?
you shouldn't be afraid. You really shouldn't be afraid.
No, you really shouldn't be afraid. And something I heard, you shouldn't. Well, something I heard a couple of years ago from a good friend that put my life into perspective was that everyone is not made to make it. Some of us are supposed to burn in the fire, and that kind of comes back into like we believe in karma and like reincarnation, stuff like that in my religion. So it's like, we kind of come back into this world, with unfinished business. Some of us do, right, from our previous lives or whatever. But I truly believe that's so true. We're not all supposed to make it. Some of us are supposed to burn the fire. Not to say that you're just going to give up and like, hey, maybe it's not for me. You got to kind of push through there. But I always kind of believe it's when it comes to me with making mistakes, I learn from mistakes, and sometimes I think like maybe this mistake is different from the mistake I'm about to make, right? So it's like two different parallels that I kind of see. But next question that I really, really like that's coming up here is for both of you, and we'll start with Daniel on this one and the audience as well. What is the most defining moment of your life thus far?
Ooh, I know exactly what that is.
When I learned to trust my intuition, that changed everything for me.
Intuition. I like that.
Yeah, when I learned like trust my gut, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and truly pay attention to it.
Yeah. I'll let Cowboy think about this because something comes up to me here right away. In about 2 weeks will be probably the 4th year anniversary of my dog dying. Raja, he died in my hands. And that was my most defining moment of my life so far because I thought, hey, things were just going to be horrible. So first and foremost, what happens? I know Wesley's watching, so I do want to give him a big shout out because when my dog died, he was like my second call that I made to let him know that, hey, this was going on because we had some shipments kind of going on the move and stuff like that. And he had my back, him and Ray. I'll always commend him and the Wellington family for always saying, "Hey, Ryan, take as much time as you need. Take care of this because we know how hard this is." And this is my first pet loss. The reason why it's the most defining moment of my life is that it took me down a spiral. I never believed in depression. I never believed in mental health. I still kind of don't, but I went to like support groups and things like that. I got into rescue. My life is based around all that right now. And that has led me to amazing conversations in my logistics career. I can honestly say the customers that I work with right now that I'm so grateful for, and the amazing team at Wellington, they're all dog lovers. I had a call this morning. We talked about shelters and rescues for probably about 20 minutes out of that 30-minute phone call, and business is business from there. So that's for me kind of put everything in perspective, that you can lose something so great to you, but there's a reason why. I have 3 dogs of my own right now. I spend so many time at dog rescue events and things like that, and that's giving me purpose. So I know it's supposed to be short, but Cowboy, what is the most defining moment of your life thus far, brother?
Hands down, has nothing to do with work and any accolades whatsoever. It was seeing my daughter being born and becoming a father. Hands down. There's nothing in the world that is better than that. And I don't know. I would fight that. I would fight that to death, man. There's nothing like that. We see so much death, like you said, Ryan, that when you see life and you see something that you created, there's nothing that can beat that, man. Nothing. Who you are, there's nothing out there, man.
Very well said.
I like that. This one's like
And changes your life in the sense that
Absolutely.
now you have to support and you have to be there, and it's like, wow, okay, the life we knew it is no longer. It's
Just
now
like
anew.
Just like that. Boom.
Yeah.
I like that. Appreciate that. And when you said that right away, Jeff, I was like, yeah, I kind of knew that was pretty awesome to see. Next question, guys. I like this one a lot because we have 24 hours in a day, but in the haste of your daily life, what are you not seeing? For me, the one thing that I'm not seeing is that because we get so clouded with everything that's going on, I am not seeing nature. I'm not seeing everybody around me. I miss that a little bit, being able to kind of see interactions with different people, have conversations with people face to face. That is something that I am not seeing. I think remote is amazing. I work remotely, but it's nice when I'm able to kind of go to Toastmasters or go to different kind of events and actually have that face to face with people. And that's what I'm not seeing, and it's actually what I'm missing. Dano, what are your thoughts on the question below?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can argue with what you just said, Ryan.
Yeah.
The downtime, the taking a walk through the woods and experiencing, not seeing the trees through the forest kind of thing, but seeing the trees and experiencing nature at its finest. I'd probably be right there with you on that one, brother. We're trying to do so much, right? And I could speak for myself personally. I feel like I lost a year with my sickness and with cancer and radiation and chemo and treatment and blah, 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 blah. I feel like I've lost a year. And every morning I'm waking up thinking, like, how do I get it back? How do I get it back? How do I get it back? And I know it's probably not the right way to think, but it's that downtime. It's being able to, and now that I'm saying it, it's like, I don't know why I'm not doing it, but going sitting outside with my wife and having a coffee in the morning. And you know what I mean? Those simple things that make the world of difference. Yeah, man, I just hit a sore spot there, boys. Whoa.
This is what we're here for, brother. Let's hear what you got, Cowboy.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one as well, Ryan. And I just started doing this, waking up really early in the morning, going to my back deck and just sitting there and watching the sunrise and not saying a word, just letting everything go out of my mind, just emptying all negativity and just kind of absorb that nature and listening to the birds and watching the swans and all that, and just sit there for 15 minutes. I wouldn't call it meditation, but it's just something to break away from, the ongoings throughout the day. It kind of helps you to start the day on the right foot, for sure. Absolutely. I suggest everybody out there do that. Take some me time, take 15 minutes out of your day early in the morning and just be you. Just think of you. It's awesome.
Just be with yourself, you mean? Just be with your thoughts and just,
Yep. Be with your inner self. Connect.
This will be our final question for today, boys, but I had to make it a little deep here. So the question is going to be, if life is so short, Why do we do so many things that we don't like and like so many things that we don't do?
You know what? For Fun Day Friday, these are heavy, man.
Yeah, this
Heavy,
is
bro.
quite ridiculous, man.
Ryan's bringing the heat today.
What is your
Bringing
favorite
the
color,
heat.
guys? What's your favorite song?
Blue. Wow. Okay. Do you want me to go?
I'll go. I'll say it really quick.
Go for it.
Don't go through life and say these things. But only if I shoulda, coulda, I woulda tried it, but I'll never know what it's like. So I'm gonna do it. So it's like, just do it to find out what it's like, man. I've said this for decades and I've lived by that, you know? I mean, fear in itself, sometimes you have to address it to get over that thing and do something that you don't like. And then sometimes you'll like what you thought you didn't like. But you have to experience firsthand to see if it was something that maybe might happen.
All right, I like that.
So, prior to getting sick, I did a ton of things I didn't like, and I liked a ton of things I didn't do. And I actually rationed lies to myself about it. You know, even though I don't like it, I have to do it for my family. I have to do it for my friends. I have to do you're like, perfect example. On my wife's and my 10th anniversary, I wanted to take her to Rome. And I went in and I handed in my notice for 2 weeks off. And my manager said to me, managers in this company don't take 2 weeks off. And I listened to the company. Instead of saying, I'm taking my wife to Rome for our 10th anniversary because that's what we've wanted to do. So I rationalized the fact that, like, I need my job to help support the house. So, okay, we're gonna skip the 10th anniversary. And still to this day, I don't regret very many things, but I regret that. And since I've been sick, my wife and I have actually, because a lot of what you're talking about today, you go through these thoughts when you get sick and when you're not sure if your life is going to be there a couple of years down the road. Like, you really don't know. And we've talked about all of this, Ryan, and it's no more. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to do it when we want to do it. No matter what happens, we're going to live our life. Because you really start thinking about the people. You know, I know people that retire at 65 and a week later they were out washing their car and had a heart attack.
Yep.
Never even got to enjoy retirement, right?
Yep.
And it's like we and this was the big thing that I constantly talk about. You design your work around your life. You don't design your life around your work. And, you know, for most people, they hate what they do. We're blessed. We really are blessed. And the people are all of our people that comment and all of our viewers are really blessed if they love what they do.
Yep.
They really are. So I don't know. I think to answer your question, life is so short. Why do we do so many things we don't like? I think we rationalize. We negotiate with ourselves. We tell ourselves lies that we do it because. And we always take that because as a higher ground, you know, for my family, for blah, 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 for my parents, for everything. And I just think, you know, most of us, probably all of us do it.
That's some point.
I'm sure we've all done. Yeah, at some point, some part, at some junction in your life, you're doing stuff you don't want to do. You're doing stuff you don't like. Like, how many of, like, when you were at Rome and stuff, Ryan, right? Like, you didn't really like your job, but it's not as if you could just quit your job until you had another job, right? So it's like you evolve, and I think it's okay to have stepping stones. I think it's okay, especially as a young adult, that you maybe do some things you really don't like, and you have to do it for 3 months till you find something else, because you realize what you want and what you don't want, right? Like, sorry, and I know I'm babbling on, but like my son, for example, he had a couple of warehouse jobs. He didn't like them. At the end, he says, like, I really don't want to work in a warehouse. What do I want to do? So now he's becoming an electrician. So he's doing his apprenticeship. He loves it. I think if he would have never had those jobs he hated and realized he's just not a warehouse type, I don't think he would have been in this job he loves. I mean, I could be totally wrong, guys, but I just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
It makes sense.
100%. You know, it's great. And I think when I read this question, it's about compromises that we kind of like tend to make a lot, and we don't kind of set those boundaries. And no one's kind of saying that, hey, I don't like I love my in-laws, but like if somebody's like, hey, I don't want to go see my in-laws, it's just like, well, come on, look at the compromise. You're seeing them once a week, you know, not once a week, you're seeing them once a month or something like that, right? So you got to figure out what's balanced. If there's something that you truly hate, because it says you don't like, so there's a difference between like, you don't like, and hate, right? But for me, it's like, you can understand, you got to find out why too. So like if my partner decides like, hey, I don't like to do these things, have the conversation. I think you need transparency and openness to understand why do you truly not like this. Is it a situation where you don't feel comfortable, or you're just kind of getting out of your shell? Well, it's like, what ways can I help to make you feel comfortable with that? It's like going into a relationship with a new customer, right? Customers are not going to, they're not waiting for us to call them for us to give them their logistic services. You know, we got to kind of understand what they don't like from what's kind of going on right now, and then figure out the things that they do like and do more of it, you know. And that's just life in general for me, and I think that is amazing to think about from both of you guys. And yeah, it's awesome. So I was getting ready to close up today, gents. Like I said, today was the day I wanted to come with a little heat. You know, I don't know, guys, I feel like missing Wednesday, I missed Dean, by the way, but missing Wednesday has kind of brought me a little fire. I had a little fire yesterday, and coming with the loaded gun today. So it's...
you have fire because I think you golfed twice or 3 times this week.
Yeah. Golfed.
That's why you got fire.
Thursday. Yeah. I love that.
Ryan, I gotta say, brother, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I gotta say,
No.
Your questions today were like spectacular, brother.
Definitely all the way. And hey, Dan, you know what? Here's one thing that I know about you. Even though
I'm super handsome.
Yep.
Sorry.
No. When you put up that picture of you and Arnold, I was like, who posted that one up? You know? Sorry.
Here's a huge takeaway. When you were sick and everything, you connected with your wife in ways that you would never, ever, ever have ever dreamt of.
Yep.
And that
I didn't even know that level existed. The way
that any human being could ever imagine, even though it was bad, it was good. It really was. When you think about that. Absolutely.
Well, Jeff, you know, it's funny you say that, because when Ryan was explaining Raja and what was happening, my first thought was, as sad and as horrible as it is, that's what brought Ryan to save hundreds of dogs' lives.
Yep.
And it's again, we go back to everything happens for a reason. Why did that load fuck up? It fucked up for a reason. What's the reason? What do I need to define? What do I need to change? And you know, Ryan, you sit back and I constantly wonder, you know, what would you be doing all this dog rescue if it wasn't for Raja? So maybe, and again, I don't want to get, you know, because I know how much you loved and still loved her, but it's maybe she had to go in order for the thousands of dogs, tens of thousands, millions of dogs you're going to save in your lifetime to be saved.
Well, can I ask one more question, guys? I was really debating.
Brother, I can do this all freaking day.
Okay, I got one more question that I really relate to this. I love this one. I was going to say for next week, but it's exactly what you're saying here. You know, there's kind of balance, but you know, here's a question, and we'll start with Jeff on this one. Can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, peace without war? And I'll add to this because it's a conversation I always have. Can we enjoy the sunlight if we didn't have darkness?
No.
Yeah, you know, that's another difficult question. But I think what happens, depending upon how many times that it happens to you, you become numb. Death becomes a part of your life that is more of an acceptance. You know, when you lose a loved one, a parent, a dog, a horse, anything, that even though your heart pours out and you feel sad, you get over it a little bit more quicker. At least for me. I mean, I understand. I mean, I put down 4 horses and 7 dogs and cats, and it's these things that you don't forget about, but it helps you and others to get through the day, to comfort others who are going through that, to be there for them when they're crying and you're not. You're there like for support, emotional support. So there is a reason for everything on that side. I feel strongly about, and that's why you're able to do what you do, because it's an action from a negative that you've learned.
Yeah,
So
and it's a lesson, right? And not to really bring this about death and things like that, but I truly believe, like, I don't think there can be happiness without sadness. I don't think there can be pleasure without pain. I don't think there can be peace without war. So you gotta kind of look at that. There's always got to be that, like, yeah, there's got to be that feng shui, right? I forget that, like, martial arts sign where it's like, I forget what they call it, but it's like the half black and the half white,
yin
and
yang.
it's got the dots, the yin and
Yin
yang,
yang,
right? And you look at that and how important that is. So you got to kind of understand that even in our logistics career, like we always talk about this, like, you make 50 calls today, somebody might not pick up, but you make that one call tomorrow, somebody might pick up, and it will make those previous days all worth it. That not necessarily that grind, but that movement towards a goal is so important. Dano, I'll get you to answer this question, and then we'll close up today.
The answer is no. I don't believe it. You can't know pain without love. You can't know loss without love. You can't know, like, a good paycheck without a bad paycheck, right without left, up without a down, sadness without pleasure. Like, you just can't. You always have to have the proverbial both sides of the coin in order for you to even know what it is. Like we've all had bad paychecks. That's how we know what a good paycheck is. And call a spade. We all have had bad customers. That's how we know what a good customer is.
What?
Yes.
We've had bad suppliers. We've had bad teammates. We've been bad teammates. That's how we know how to be good teammates. We've had, like, it's just, you have to have the juxtaposition, or else you never see the two filters of life.
Yeah, I need to see that comparison too.
You need to have bad internet and to know what good internet is, Jeff. Right? Like, I mean, you guys have had.
What are you talking about?
Well, now you haven't bunged out once in the last couple of weeks. So I'm hoping, Ryan got the new internet. He's loving it, right? He wouldn't have known what a bad internet was if he didn't get the new internet.
Well, that's what happened when you pay your bills, like I did. Your internet stays up a lot longer.
Oh, you finally paid your bills. Got it.
Yeah.
There we go. That 2 seconds from there. That's awesome. Kind of see, boys. So we're gonna close off today, guys. Always a pleasure with you both. If you found value in this, to our amazing audience, please like, subscribe, please support our LinkedIn page, which we're airing live every day at 11 a.m. Cowboy, I know you got something coming up. Well, before we even get into the closing out, what do you guys got planned for this long weekend? I don't think it's a long weekend in the U.S. So, Jeff, what are you getting up to this weekend? And Daniel, what are you doing for this long weekend?
It is. Isn't it Memorial Day in the U.S.?
The week after.
No, that's next.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Not next. Yeah, next weekend. Yeah, it is the 29th. Yep. Well, I'm all by myself. My wife and my mother-in-law are down in Cape May, New Jersey, and I've got the whole place to myself.
Man cave, baby. Man cave.
Go.
What do you call it? You got to call it the ranch, right? Since you're the cowboy, you got to call the house the ranch. There we go. So awesome. Always the ranch. Daniel, what are you getting up to this weekend, buddy?
I think it's a lot of spring cleaning, getting stuff cleaned out, a lot of dump runs. Finally getting, now that I have energy, finally getting some things done. Getting the pool's already open, so it's probably going to be, depending on the weather, sitting outside enjoying it.
There we go. So for myself,
Ryan, what about you? Did you get your backyard done?
Yeah, the guy's actually hosing it down right now, so I'll send you guys some pictures offline. Tonight, I'm actually going salsa dancing with a former Fun Day Friday guest, Maria Borrell. Her cousin is going to be downtown at Lula Lounge, so I will be there with my posse. Do people say posse still? But yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a cool thing, because it's the first time I'm gonna start teaching music again. So I got actually 2 students coming in tomorrow morning to teach them and just chill out tomorrow. And then Sunday we will be at a dog rescue. If you are in Milton and you want to see some animals and support animal rescue, come out to I think it's Andrew's Scenic Farms out in Milton. So I'll be there from 10 to 6, raising money for spay and neuter clinics. And
when are you gonna spend the 6 hours to put your lawn furniture together?
Oh, brother! Funny enough, we bought lawn furniture and it's actually already set up. So we just got to move it outside, man. We just got to move it outside. So we're excited for that. Perfect. So Cowboy, tell us what's going on Monday on the Victoria Days edition of.
Yes, I have the Bodacious Cowboy podcast channel launching for sure at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got a mystery guest. Always be a mystery guest, but it's something that what we're going to do is uncover, explore, discuss issues, options, solutions to a lot of problems that are out there that a lot of people don't think about in the industry. So it's going to be good. Check it out.
All right, looking forward to that. 2:30
He's
on
holding that
Victoria
guest
Day.
close to his chest, right?
Yeah. You might want to change that up to kind of get a little bit. But well, I'd like to kind of see. That'd be pretty cool. I'll definitely be. I'll try to tune in because it's a holiday for us. So I'm not sure if I'll be on LinkedIn. But we always want to support you in any way that we could. So we're so proud of you for doing your first episode this week.
Sing here.
Yeah, it's always amazing to kind of see. Dano, top 3 takeaways from. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do, guys. Top 3 takeaways from the week as a whole. So let's do a little reflection piece, Dano, and then take us home.
Top 3 reflections for the week. Everything comes together when it comes together. When you try and kick doors down, sometimes you lose track of what's important. Dedication, determination are exactly what you always need. And what you do screams so loud I can't hear a word you say.
And you say that every week, for
Yeah,
sure.
I was going to say, Jeff, what's your message to the world, man, before we take this home?
My message is do what you love to do, no matter what kind of feedback that you get. It's not about them, it's about you. Follow your dreams, make them happen.
Love that. We'll end off on that. So on Monday, we will not have an episode of Sales Chatter because both Dan and I will be enjoying the Queen's Day. So we'll see you guys back at it Tuesday. But if you're looking for a fix on Monday, which you should be anyways, please check out The Cowboy Show at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. Be safe, everybody, and hope you guys come back on Tuesday to see amazing guests that we have. Take care.
Take care.
Adios.